And what about you? And in this video, I'm going to show you a few scan tools that I own already, bought and paid for, and one that have been sent for free. So I've been sent this Otofix D1 Lite, and we'll have a look at it on Amazon. We'll put this on the Amazon store if you're interested. And there's it there, $399.99 with 2 years free update, 2023 bidirectional scan tool with all systems. And we'll get a wee look at it, but this is a forewarning. This is not a review. It's not what I call a review. I've just got this, haven't used it, and I'm not going to plug it into a car. Because to me, a review, a proper review, is something that you know, after you've used it quite a bit, you know, for a lot of months and all that there, and you can sort of figure out, you know, what its good points, bad points are. This is not a review. So if you want to see somebody using that wee Otofix thing that I've just been sent and I showed you there, there's a plethora of reviews on the YouTube channel of people plugging it in and going through it. It's Autel, it's just Autel software. It's the same as what this is. So this is my Autel that I bought donkeys ago, I think 2016. Came with 1 year free updates, and well, the touchscreen doesn't work anymore. So yeah, so I have to plug a mouse into it in the top to get this here to work, and it's becoming a bit of a pain. It started off with you know, these buttons at the bottom started not working, and that one there in particular, the back button, and these buttons started not working, and that's pretty much goosed. Oh, it sort of works in the middle a wee bit the odd time, but I'll just get a mouse. So, well, a mouse plugged in the top. So there is a point to this. Now, I don't maybe labour on this before I get on to the Otofix. The Otofix non-review. Alright, so this is part of the point that I'm going to make here. So this thing here has expired on its subscription quite a while ago, and I have no intention of updating it because it's ridiculously expensive, this thing, the update, this particular model. This is an AMS 908 Pro. Pro being because it has a JA2534 pass-through device with it. And you know, the higher up the range you go with Autel, and any scan tool really, but the higher up the range you go, the updates just get more expensive and more expensive. And for 1 year, they're looking for, I'm going to show you what they're looking. So here we go. So I've logged into my Autel registration, and it recognises the tool that we're on here. So that's it there, and that's what they're looking. 1554 US dollars. $1,554. So this wee launch here, X431, bought this in 2019, I think. Sandy Anderson and I bought the two of them at the same time. He's since got rid of his and moved to a top-down, but it still has the launch software. So the launch software is common on top-down and ThinkCar. They're basically all the same. So the price you pay, the higher up you go, it has more functionality, says it does coding, says it does programming. You know, one thing people need to understand is coding and programming are two completely different things, you know? So I don't do programming of any description at all. Yes, I do coding and all that there, but all you really usually use a scan tool for is for reading codes, raising codes, live data and bidirectional control, adaptions and resets and all that sort of thing. And you need a tool that can do an extensive vehicle coverage and do all those things on an extensive vehicle coverage. So one question that sometimes gets asked by people is, what's the best scan tool? And here we have VCDS here as well, by the way. So, you know, that's my Audi Volkswagen go-to tool. So we'll see why that's significant in a wee minute. We're going to start talking about the Otofix, this Otofix job. Which scan tool is the best? So if anybody asks you that question, the answer is it's a non-question. It's a ridiculous question. There isn't a best scan tool. It depends what you want it to do. So sometimes that will do what that won't do, that will do what that won't do, that will do what that won't do, that won't do what that won't do, blah, 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 you know? So if you're struggling with this one on a particular make, so some scan tools are stronger on some makes than they are on others. This Autel is my go-to. It's my favorite because I think I'm used to it and all that. This one here, this launch, never really liked it, to be quite honest with you. It's okay and it's usable, and I'm sure people use the top down and the think car and all and think, oh, it's great and all this, carry on. But this thing on certain makes, on certain times, on certain cars, has produced some data that just doesn't make sense. And, you know, there's data pads that have, you know, stupid numbers and, you know, it's clearly incorrect, you know, and then this one here, it just wouldn't show that data pad, you know, and it sort of leads you up a garden path a wee bit. The snap-on there, on certain cars, it's okay. On, you know, on a big range, usually there'd be more functionality in general on the Autel than there would be on that snap-on. So these are scan tools, you know, so as in the name, it's a tool. So yeah, I hear customers, and customers have said to me in the past, you know, oh, you have to plug a computer in the car, or the computer tells you what's wrong with the car. And, you know, anybody that works in cars, and any of the guys in here that are listening to this, we all have customer stories and all, and we know that that just is not the case. This is a tool in the same way that this is a tool, and it's really only any good dependent on the person behind it and what he can do with it. You know, the person's capability, you know. So if you don't have knowledge and you don't have information available to you and all that there, these things don't fix cars. This is a tool that gives you more information. You know, it tells you what it's complaining about. It gives you live data and all that sort of thing. And anyway, without further ado, anyway, I got this sent to me for free. And as we saw earlier on, it's 400 quid's worth. And I don't often, you know, get stuff. I get emails all the time. Do you want to do a collaboration and all this? I'll carry on. And I just go, no, I don't do that sort of thing. You know, I would never sort of promote. I don't want to be seen as promoting or doing a review, you know, and then like, you know, I wouldn't do that on something that I wouldn't actually buy myself, you know. So I have done a couple of product things and I've done giveaways, you know, so I just agreed to it, so I would just give it away in a raffle or something, because I had no intention of using it myself. But this thing, I'm going to keep it because I want it. You're just saying that because they sent you it and you got it for free. You know, you're bound down to the market, man. Well, I like that Autel, and here is a digitizer which I bought myself. This is a replacement digitizer, but I haven't bothered putting it on yet. And putting it on, well, I don't know. It depends how that goes. It might be the end of that Autel tool, and to replace that Autel tool in its present form with that pass-through device, I was looking at I think it was the 909, the MS 909, and you're talking about £2,000, about £2,000, you know. But there's another reason, and I'm going to tell you, this runs the Autel software the same as that. Now, this is the Lite version, so there's a D1 Lite, there's a D1, so it's just D1 Lite and D1, and they both have a small tablet. So it's only a 7-inch tablet. So the D1 Lite and the D1 have a, you know, so the D1 Lite is what, about 400 quid. The D1 is more expensive at about 700 or something like that. I've seen it for. You can Google all this yourself and do your own research and all. And the only difference is the D1 will do Volkswagen, Audi online coding. But I don't need that because I've got VCDS and that's what I use for Volkswagen, Audi. So the more expensive version of the exact same tablet with the, you know, all that, I don't need it. So what I'm trying to get at here is, you know, you can buy a scan tool with all these sort of loads of features on it, and it says it does this, and it says it does programming, and it says it does online coding and all that there. And see if you're not going to use it, use those extra bits. And if you're not going to, you know, go into that sort of thing, then you're paying for something, you know, and the updates are going to be seriously expensive for something that you're not going to use, because 99% of the time, what you need is a tool that has multiple makes, live data, reads code, reads and erases codes, and, you know, will do adaptions and all that sort of stuff, bidirectional controls. That's the core of what you need a scan tool for. If you're not going to do a lot of coding and you're not going to do a lot of programming, if any, I don't do programming at all, and that's it. Because see, a lot of these aftermarket tools that say they do programming, well, most times they don't. So now the bit that you might be interested in. Again, this is not a review. If you want a review, there's millions of people going into the usual Autel functions. This is what you get in the D1 Lite and the D1. They're both the same 7-inch tablet. The next one up is a D1 Pro, which is a 10-inch, and the price just goes up and the updates just go up. The updates for this, I've seen the updates at £100, maybe £120 or whatever it is. This one here, if you buy it on the Amazon store there, the Dave Starr Amazon store, $3.99 with 2 years free updates. And then after that, you don't need to update it. It'll still have the same functionality. It has bidirectional control. It is everything that the Autel over there will do. It doesn't have online coding and it doesn't have programming, but I don't need that. But there's something else that this can do that all these other ones, £10,000 worth of scan tools on this table that are sitting here just off to the left that you've already seen. There's some things that this can do that the other ones cannot. I shall explain what it can do that the other ones cannot. I'll attempt to explain it anyway. So here's a brief rundown here. Two years free updates, bidirectional control scan tool. Now there's other top downs and all that there. I think it's is it the BT800? It's in around the same price point, hasn't got bidirectional control. So there's other ones there, Think Car and all have something in around this price point, and you have to pay, I think it's $50 for, you know, the manufacturer. So I think people reviewed that, and you look at that and you just go, you're just giving more money. It's more money all the time. This here, no more money, and after 2 years, you know, it'll still have the bidirectional functionality and all that. And oh yes, right. So the expensive Autels and the top down that you see Sandy Anderson using and that they'll have topology, you know, so they'll have it. This doesn't have topology, you know. Do you need it? Like none of those scan tools that I have over there on the bench, none of them have topology. But anyway, it's a bit of a gimmick, to be honest with you. And you could pay £2,000 for an MS909, and once the 1 year free update that you get with it, once it's up, you have no more topology until you pay for the updates again. So the topology doesn't stay. On Sandy Anderson's top down, the topology will stay on it when it runs out of updates. But anyway, that's not the point I'm going to try and make here. The point I'm going to try and make is this thing here will do stuff that the other scan tools that I have on the bench here will not do. And I'm going to try and find it here. Aha, here we are. Right, this is what I'm waffling on about. This is what I'm getting at. Support DOIP and CAN DF. It's CAN AFD protocols, FCA Auto Authority, right? So you see what I've highlighted in blue there? DOAP, and that's supposed to say CAN AFD, but anyway, that's the wrong way around. So it's 2 additional protocols, an FCA Auto Authority. Well, I'm going to talk a wee bit about that in a minute or later on, but for the moment, I'm going to tell you what I want this scan tool because it does DOAP and CAN AFD, and I'll tell you what that is. So DOAP, Diagnostic Over Internet Protocol, and CAN AFD. CAN AFD is, we're all familiar with CAN, Communications Area Network, but CAN AFD is CAN, and the FD stands for Flexible Data. So what I say to people is the easy way to remember it is the F in CAN AFD, it just means fast CAN. So you know the way, you would change your broadband for, a fiber connection, and the data transfer rate is, far quicker with fiber and all. So this is basically what they're doing. So these communication protocols, as the years progress, as the newer cars get new, you get newer cars into your garage, you'll find that your scan tools that you have will not communicate with them because they're using these newer protocols. So here's an overview of DOAP. So Ethernet for diagnosis, DOAP, Ethernet frames to package diagnostic messages, communicate with a basis on standardized communications. Well, Ethernet is, you may have an Ethernet network in your home, maybe, so it uses a local area network. So that's not the same as the internet. That's LAN or LAN network. So the whole idea that these manufacturers are trying to do is to make the communications far faster. So CAN, for example, the bandwidth for modern standards, it's not very good. It won't go over 1 megabit per second, whereas CAN AFD will go up to like 5 megabits per second or something like that. You know what I mean? So anyway, there we'll have, if you get an IPACE 2019 and on, your traditional scan tools, the scan tools that I shown there on the bench, £10,000 worth if you bought them all brand new, won't communicate with a 2019 or newer Jag, those Land Rovers there, and you see the Volvo XC90 2016. So if I got a 2016 XC90 in here, I have nothing that will communicate with it. So can't read fault codes, can't reset a service light, can't look at live data, nothing. So nothing I had would communicate with any of those cars that's on the screen there. So yeah, so the Volvo Vita that I have as well, which I showed in another video, it'll only go up to, it'll go up to those dates. Anything nearer than that, the wee Otofix here, the wee Otofix will do that, no problem, because it supports DOAP. CAN AFD then, so CAN AFD, which is fast CAN. The F doesn't stand for fast, but for all intents and purposes, that's all you need to remember. Currently include many GM, Ford 2019, 2020. So that's from the Autel site. They're compatible with those models there, and you need a CAN AFD adapter. The CAN AFD adapter is not required for the Ultra, the 919 and the 909. So I was considering, and people who know me will know that I was considering a 909 and as my next scan tool as an upgrade, so that it would communicate on CAN AFD without the requirement for an additional piece of hardware, an additional adapter. But I don't need to do that anymore, because I do think that this wee Otofix thing that I got for free, 400 squid's worth, is all I'm going to need for the foreseeable future. So I'm not going to register this just yet, So I'm just showing you this wee thing. If you want a scan tool and the updates are pretty, or it's cheap, but this scan tool will probably do the most of the things that you need it to do. There's a lot of functionality on the other scan tools that, you know, most of the time you don't need, and you never use them. I haven't, you know, and I've had these things for years, you know what I mean? And the additional functionality that made these things very expensive, as I say, I paid £2 for that. That launch there was about 1,100 quid or something like that. Now that Snap-on I bought second hand, and I paid 2.5 grand for it. You know, they're about 6 or 7 grand new. So as I said, there's £10,000 worth of tools sitting here, and the VCDS, that's a genuine VCDS cable, that was 500 odd quid or something. You know, I got this for nothing. But if you decide to go out and buy it, it's 400 quid. And yeah, if I was actually buying this, I would probably buy the Pro version because it's a bigger tablet. So it's a 10-inch screen, you know. And as well as that, the hardware is, you know, a good bit better. This runs on Android 9. The Pro runs on Android 10. It's got a faster processor, it's got more memory. The battery in it is 3 times the size as the battery in this, and all that, it'll carry on. So you get what you pay for. But again, when you're up into that D1 Pro, the Otofix D1 Pro, it's about 1,200 quid or something. You know, so it's 3 times the price of this. So this wee tablet, in the hand, it feels pretty robust. It's not a toy, like it's not plasticky or, you know, going to fall to bits. The big one with this here, and when I got this launch as well, no stand. For Christ's sake, why do these guys not put a wee flip out stand on it, even a wee dopey thing? Because the first thing you do with these scan tools is hang it over the steering wheel, you know. So even the D1 Pro, the £1,200 version, it just is a yellow back like that, or orange, or whatever colour it is, and no stand. Anyway, yeah. So, but, you know, okay, we'll have to bite our tongues at that part, and, you know, I'm more interested in the functionality. This here will talk to cars that those tools will not talk to, and that's why I'm interested in this. And if you look at any other reviews, you can see all the people pressing buttons and doing all that. It's just the Autel software. It's what you see all the time with us here on my other videos. But what none of them talk about, not any that I've seen, I may have missed it, or, you know, there's a plethora of review videos, and I've skipped through a load of them and all to see if any of them mention these newer protocols that are kicking about, you know. So there's another one that I'm not 100% sure about, but Hyundai Kia may be using CAN FD in the newer ones as well, because I know people are saying, they're having difficulty communicating with any 2019, maybe 2020 Hyundai Kias and stuff like that. So this is what you're going to need, or something like it. So that's why, as I say, it was going to be the D1 Pro or the MS909. It was going to be my next scan tool, and it was going to cover that off, you know. But this thing here, because of the dirt cheap updates, as I say, it's 100 quid or 150 quid, and you get 2 years, as opposed to that one there came with 1 year free update, and that one there I think came with 2 years free updates. But they're all, that one there was at 2020, it says in that. So they're all out of subs, you know. And as I say, see things like, see those features like online coding and programming and all, see if you're out of subs, they won't work anyway. So you have to keep paying money. You have to keep, you know, you have to keep paying these people money, and you're paying money for stuff if it's online programming and coding, stuff that, well, on the most part, you don't use. Well, I don't anyway, you know. If you use those functions, you need those functions, then, you know, switch off this video. That's no good deal. Anyway, the other thing that was mentioned on this, when we looked at the description on the computer, was FCA SGW. So FCA is Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, and that is Jeep, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, and whatnot, you know, those type of cars. And SGW stands for Secure Gateway. So SGW is not a protocol. It's not DOIP, it's not CAN-IFD. This is something else. This is something else that these here won't do. However, it's not a communications protocol. That's not what that is. Secure Gateway is a security thing. So what you have to do is you have to register with a website called Auto, AUTOATH or something, Auto Authority type of thing. And they only support certain scan tools. So Snap-on was the first one on board with it, but I think Launch and everybody else has sort of came on board. And you have to register who you are. And you know, if you plug this scan tool or any of those scan tool into a, I think it's 2018 or newer FCA model. Might be wrong on the date there, but it's a newer one anyway, a newer Fiat Chrysler Automobile Group car, Jeep or something. You'll be able to read codes, but that's all you can do. If you want to make any changes, so if you want to erase codes, if you want to switch off do a service light reset, you want to do bidirectional controls, or you want to do adaptions or any of that, carry on. If you want to, you know, make any change to that car in this direction, and you know, from you to it, from you to the car, it will come up. This has a secure gateway. So it's like I don't know, it's like a firewall. It's not really a firewall, but it's a security thing. And what the idea of it is that you have to be registered on a website, and then they have like a paper trail of who's been working on that car and all that, it'll carry on. But again, it's more, you have to keep paying and all that, it'll carry on. I'm nearly sure the Launch suite, you have to pay Launch as well as register with Auto Authority. The price of which of these things, I don't know, because I've never used them, because I have another solution, and I'm going to show you now, and it's got nothing to do with this tool, you know, but the tool will still communicate and will do all the functions that you're probably going to need on an FCA, but you need to do this additional step. And well, maybe I should be showing you this. So this thing here is a bypass. So what you have to do is you have to take maybe a piece of the trim, and usually in behind where this thing here plugs in, you know, that there with the wee light on it, so you can see where it's going. And you put this in circuit, you know. So what I'm going to say to you with this thing is, maybe I shouldn't be, I don't know where this is, I should be doing this or not, but you need to do your own research. Google, let me see, does that show up on the thing there? FCA, SDW, bypass. And you multi-plug in there, and go about your normal business, and you're elected. If you own the car, if it's your car or whatever, just keep that on it. If you're working on other people's vehicles, then you need to take that out again, undo it, and put your trim pieces back on. Some of them are a bit awkward, some can be underneath the steering wheel and all that, it'll carry on. But see all that registering and paying extra money and all that, you just keep that in your diagnostic arsenal, and that's that problem solved. So yeah, everything progresses in technology and all that there, you know, for a wireless touchscreen jobby like this, if a lot of years ago, 400 quid, no chance. You wouldn't have got anything like that for 400 quid. You know, the cheaper Autels, you know, all had wires coming out the top of them, you know, they weren't wireless like, and all that. So to have a wireless one for that kind of money is just, you know, pretty good. And if you use the Autel software, if you've already used the Autel software and you're used to it and you like it and all, you know, that's why I'm not getting into this. And I'm not even going to register this just yet, because I'm going to let it sit you know, wait a lot of months until I really start sort of needing those additional protocols. I'm going to stick with these for the moment. But I'll just show you an example here. Now here's the Amazon here. $350 for a top done, you know, and it says free lifetime upgrade, you know, VIN detection and blah blah blah, does all this here, 28 maintenance services and all this jazz. Now I'm sure this is a good tool and people have it and all that, and fair play to you, good luck to you and all that there. But we'll just go down a wee minute and you read the small print. Let's see now. What does that say there? Not a bidirectional scanner. Active test not available. So, what would you buy that for? And I'm sure people buy that there maybe, you know, and they don't realise that or whatever. But, you know, for the functions that you need, I think are the essential sort of basic functions that you need in a scan tool. A scan tool, you know, you need bidirectional control, you need live data, you need all that sort of carry on. As I said, the additional features, and you get with you know, more expensive. The more expensive you get, the dearer you get coding, programming, and all that old jazz. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if I already said this or not, most people would not program with an aftermarket scan tool anyway, because it's, well, most of the time it doesn't work, or half the time it doesn't work, or it might be ropey, or it might brick something or whatever. You know, most of the guys that I know anyway, they all use OE tools for programming, you know. And so therefore those additional functions that you're sort of paying extra for, you know, they're either no good, or they don't work, or you're not going to use them. So anyway, that's my not a review of this tool, and I got it for free. And the only reason why I accepted it and was willing to do this video was because I knew that this could do something for me that what I had already won't do. So that's the key. Additional protocols, those additional protocols for those newer type vehicles, the DOIP and the CAN AFD. If you're going to do Fords, GMs, Jags, Range Rovers and Volvos, you need to upgrade your tool, and this is the cheapest one that will do it. Right, that's it. Many thanks for watching, as ever, and all the best, and